You have the eye for human weakness, but not the stomach.
What's this about?
Oh, just a feeling I have.
Ouch. When you get those feelings, insurance companies start to go bankrupt.
What kind of music do you usually have here?
Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
Are you the police?
No, ma'am. We're musicians.
It's the Al Travis Show, and one of our faves is on the program. We call him Colonel DOGE. He's Senator Jeff Howe. You're muted, Senator. I thank you for being here. Only because the other stuff we're going to talk about, I don't know how we'd segue out of it with any kind of cleanness. So let's just start with baseball first. I made the comment. I know you're a Twins fan. I don't see a lot of reason to watch unless I'm watching to see if Chicago can overtake us. I'm an underdog guy, but when you're 18 games out, I don't see us coming back. Can I find something to watch them for? I mean, some reason to watch?
You can try. I quit. I when they made the trade, I thought, well, I'll give the kids a chance, and I kept watching, and then as they started to circle the drain, I'm done. I mean, the poll ads have shown their colors again, and have taken away the summertime sport, which is, the timing of it's fairly good because now the hunting farms are open. I can go shoot pheasants at the hunting farm. Pheasant season's coming upon us. It's time to get the boat and the launch, all the rest of this stuff out. So there, I can entertain myself other ways, I guess, because the Twins are done.
And you can, good for you. There's a lot of us, and some older than I, that's kind of our thing, right? We live with the Twins. We want it. It sure be nice to have something positive to look at, but we got to move on. The governor, well, first off, I guess I'll start with J.D. Vance. Vice President Vance comes to town for the Annunciation Church. He went and stopped at the memorial, gave his prayers and thoughts. And I said on the show yesterday, and as I keep winding through this, I'm going to throw it at you as well. I would like all of us to release politicians from the box they have to check on whether they made an appearance at a big deal or not. Whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a big fire, where it's a train wreck, where 2 kids get shot, because you don't know anymore whether they're doing it out of, if JD really wanted to be there, I have no idea. I presume he did. But even if he didn't, he checked the boxes. He got to go because 2 weeks from now, if the president or the vice president didn't show up, they're going to get dinged. And it's just it doesn't seem honest anymore. It seems like a duty. And Senator, I don't know where you sit on this. It seems like kabuki theater. And I'm going to use that term later.
Yeah, I will tell you I agree with you because I will say I didn't go to the Hortman funerals, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't get a chance to go as a laden state because I had already I had another event. All right. Yeah. I had my 25th anniversary of my soldier getting killed in Iraq.
Yeah, you were in Washington.
I was going to New York.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that I'm on a list someplace of the lousy politicians that didn't show up for that event. Yeah. I believe that some politicians are drawn because of their faith in certain instances that happen that draw you to go. But that if the White House didn't send someone, and it had to be someone big, because if it was a lower level, they were going to get it. And I heard it on your program this week where someone said, well, they didn't come for the Hortmans thing. Why is he coming from this?
Yeah. Well, see, and that's my point. It's a checklist thing, because the story of the day in the papers, there were 6 murders in Minneapolis in the last week. And I got it. It's a school shooting. It's a church. I mean, I get why it would make the headlines. But 6 people were shot this week in Minneapolis alone, and we're not expecting the president to come for those. We're not expecting the vice president to come. Though it's just you got to hit a horror scale, and now we start watching to see who shows up. So I would like to relieve everyone of that pressure. I don't get to be the one to do it because we're going to use it as a political, pawn in everyone's deal.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely correct. I mean, if they feel drawn to come, and it's not going to disrupt everything, it's like, we had the same thing with the police shootings. All of a sudden, the governor and everybody else wants to show up on if a cop gets shot or whatever, and then you got the cop's wife saying, no, don't come. And you got some of that riff going.
Well, there was a protest for Vance coming. Vance comes, we got to have a protest because why not? How often do you get to tell the vice president what you think when he came to do respect? And if he hadn't done it, we would have held him accountable and he would have put him on the press. I just don't, it's just not, doesn't seem wholesome to me. I'm ripping the Vances.
Right. And if we just release them from that, and if they want to show up and it's an honest deal, that they really want to show up and it's not a political deal, that should be between them and that school. Whether he calls up and says, hey, I'd really like to come, and they give him the green light, or say, you know, we've got enough to deal with. We don't need the circus. And both of those stances should be respected.
Completely agree. So back to the Kabuki Theater, and this is what's just driving me crazy. 6 shootings in Minneapolis. This one gets the attention again. We know why. We had the Hortman shootings, very big, you know, and the Hoffmans being shot. I get it. That's nationwide kind of news. So I see the momentum of the gun law, you know, the Get Rid of Guns group that, hey, this is our time to strike. But this governor calling a special session while saying, I don't really think I got the votes for it, but we're going to do it anyway, then this literally just becomes a theatrical thing. There's nothing here that's going to really get done except making Senator Howe or Senator Who all have to put a stamp down. Kids died and you said no to the gun control. That's the whole thing here, and that might as well wait till February when you all get back.
You're absolutely right, and that's exactly where we're headed, because you can look at the numbers. The numbers aren't there, and this is just to paint certain people into a certain corner and to make them uncomfortable. And here's what I believe. It's their only shot at getting a headline and getting them ahead in the polls to do whatever they want to do. And they've got the rhetoric all lined up, and but the only place they can really have, it's if the House, because it's controlled by the Republicans now, do not have hearings on gun control, and they concentrate on school safety and mental health, they're going to say, see, the Republicans don't care about gun control. And if you turn that around and you look and on the Senate side, because they control the Senate, but they don't have the votes to pass a bill, they're going to have all these hearings on the gun control issue, which we've already had, which they did, just 2 years ago.
And they couldn't get it past 2 years. And the point is, they had all 3 legs of the stool, and they could not get that passed. Now they're using, and in quotes, the shooting the Hortmans, the deaths of these kids. Now we're on a roll. Now the people want it. And in reality, and maybe I'm nuts, but the people I'm talking to all start off with their mental health problems. None of my friends are starting off, well, the gun did it again. Almost all of them to a person it's a mental thing.
And everybody sits there and say, well, we need universal background checks. Well, guess what? The universal background check, have as many of those as you want. Don't check the mental health piece. That's a separate deal. HIPAA doesn't allow you to check that mental health. So how do we fix that piece, right? And I will say that, and I'm drinking tea out of a NAMI cup right here, right? The National Association of Mental Illness. I'm a big proponent of that. I've had members that we've gone through the depression piece where you've got to take some medication to get healthy again. The question is if I know that if I go in for a mental health consultation, that's going to get checked on my deal and I'm going to lose my guns, I'm not going. Right? Well, I'm not going to go. And then if I do go and get healthy, then how do I get that off my record so I can get my guns back? How does this work? And in a system that actually should work, but it doesn't. I mean, I had someone, they were passionate. We need the universal background checks. We need to check everybody. We need to check all the time. And no matter what gun, where it comes from, because of that mental illness is the reason the suicide's so high. And when the discussion all tapered down, I said, well, the universal background check doesn't check mental illness. She could not believe it because no one's told her that it doesn't do it.
See, but this is back to, we had to have red flag laws, and many Republicans say that's not going to do anything for you. So we get the red flag laws passed. Guess what didn't happen with this young man? This young man was not flagged because he didn't like his sexuality, and maybe that's a box to check, maybe not. His parents didn't seem to think he was a little off bubble enough to call and say, hey, there's a problem. His friends didn't call and say, guess what? Maybe we got to check him out. He's writing some really weird crap online. This did not go unnoticed by somebody, but the stigma of calling and having a judge take a look at this guy's, issues and maybe taking his guns away. No one wanted to make that call, and no one called. This kid was.
Can you believe what it would do to the family if a family member called, you lost your guns, and now guess what? If he ever gets, he's going to get a gun and he's going to come after you. Is what's going to happen.
Or he gets the mental health they need. Someone checks this guy out, finds out why he's hearing other voices, whatever's going on in his head. But my point is, we have such a stigma about it. And again, if anybody started going after this thing, they'd be calling on the Al Travis show because that guy's a lunatic. I get it. We don't need that either. But these are parents, my opinion. The same guy with the shooter for the Hortmans and the Hoffmans. You can't tell me a guy going through that much work to get that much prepared to do his thing. You didn't notice the cop outfit. What are you doing? Relatives and friends. At some point, you got to say, this isn't right. But we're not doing that yet. So back to the mental health. We're not going to get there if we all don't take it serious. And the red flag laws mean nothing if no one's, like you say, HIPAA's not going to go on your evaluation anyway. Then red flags law were just, excuse the phrase, fart in the wind.
Yeah, it's the same thing because you when you fill out the form, oh my God, you checked that you weren't on any medications, right?
Yep.
Well, the only time that's going to come back to haunt you is after you did something. Right?
Yeah.
It's too late. It's like checking the box that you're a citizen when you're voting and you're not. Your ballot still counts. Same thing here. I still get my
They have to catch you first. Yep. That's a good point. We got to go to break. The other thing, and mental health back, hopefully, if they're going to have this thing, we can actually get looking at it. Suicides are different now. Back in the day, if you were going to kill yourself with a gun, my day, this is old school and it's all anecdotal, that's what you did. Now these folks are planning an exit strategy that will make them famous, and I don't get where that comes. It's just different. You're looking at me. Am I wrong here? That's not how it was 20 years ago.
No, and the thing is now we got this guy that did this shooting actually left. I'm picking a school because it's a gun-free zone, and I don't have to worry about getting shot. I can take myself out, but I don't have to worry about not being able to complete my mission, right? Because there's nobody there with a gun. These gun-free zones are just like the red flag deal. It doesn't work. I mean, take a look at Chicago, for crying out loud. One of the toughest places to carry a gun, and look at the murders they got going on there. Oh my gosh,
Well, I think people should.
There. Remember, you can't legally carry there.
I think just Minneapolis was 6 this week is outrageous, but Chicago, go get out of here. It's terrible. Got to go to break. We'll be back after this. I want to talk about maybe about Ellison's son. We'll talk about Jeremiah Ellison after this.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
You know that car sound that sounds like a cricket playing a banjo? Jay's can fix that. You know when you step on the brakes and your car sounds like a pair of tennis shoes in the dryer? Paul is a guy who specializes in that. And you know that sound that never happens when the mechanic's around? Paul took a whole course on that. If you own a car, you need to know Paul. Paul owns Jay's Auto Shop, 202 North Main Street, Blue Earth, 525-1052, 525-1052.
Easily offended? The Al Travis Show is not for you. The Al Travis Show. All sides are welcome.
All right, bad host. There's still things to talk about with the gun control. We'll get to that in a second. I brought up the Ellison. Let me just throw that out there so people, it was on my notes to go to the break. Jeremiah Ellison, Keith Ellison's son, is a city council member for Minneapolis. He makes $109,000 a year as a city councilman. That's pretty darn good, to be quite frank with you. He also got a Harvard scholarship or a internship. He's going to go do that. So he said, I'm going to keep my job making $109K while I'm doing that because, you know, I can. I'll do it virtually. City council, you can't do it virtually. It's in our rules. You can't. He says, I can. What are you going to do about it? They have elected me. So far, he has been absent from 8 meetings since August 11th. I'm going to let this go. I don't need, let the people in Minneapolis, you want to keep paying people that kind of money not to show up. That's up to you. Let them go. Your thoughts.
Here's the deal, Al, on that thing. As Minneapolis continues to slide into the sewer pit that they are, it just goes to show you how much worse they can get. They keep electing people that can't and won't do the job that they were elected to do.
Yeah. If you're in whatever ward he's in, and they got 13 of them in Minneapolis, heaven's sakes, make 109K, you should rethink your votes. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about, will there be a boycott for this session? There's some rumor going around. Maybe the Republicans don't show up, like the Republicans didn't show up, or the Democrats didn't show up to start this session. If he calls a special session, do you go? And 2, sir, could you make this a little fun? If they're going to actually open a special session, let's reopen this whole marijuana thing. This is crazy. It's crazy what's going on there. Let's reopen those conversations. Maybe you want to have marijuana, you can't have a gun. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Want to open up the can of worms? Let's open it up.
You know, we got to talk about cannabis, marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it, and the psychosis issue with young people. You look, if you can believe some of the social stuff that's out there, they're saying this guy said that you were right, Mom. You know, pot messed up my head. I shouldn't have done this. And because it sounds like Mom was the conservative one, didn't want him to do any of this stuff, and Dad was giving him the green light, so Mom finally relented the way it sounds. Mm-hmm. But he, you know, that's the piece that I've had numerous friends of mine now whose family members, and it seems like have gone off to college, whatever, smoked pot, and then comes up, they're psychotic. They don't trust anybody. They think everybody's out to get them. They ostracize from their own family. And one guy said, you know, I thought he said, you were wrong, you know, until it happened to my family member. And then his family member said, oh, I can't be that. So they went out and smoked some more, relapsed, and now they're a believer. We don't know the effects of this stuff on our young people. And to me, this is another prime example that if you got to smoke pot, you probably shouldn't have a gun. Is that where we're going?
See, I don't know if that's it, but open that can of worms, because it isn't your 1980s pot. We all knew kids back in the day that when they smoked pot got paranoid. This stuff's 10 times more potent the way it is now, and then they sprinkle a little fentanyl here. And I'm not saying one leads to the other, but if you already have some mental issues, it surely can exacerbate it. Why wouldn't we want to talk about that? Why would we not want to take a look?
And it's the THC, right? Yeah. And maybe it's the THC drinks. We don't know that yet, right? We haven't looked at all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff. We're approving stuff and going down the road, and guess what? It's not legal at the federal government. So we're all worried about how we mesh in with the federal government. Well, guess what? We're going to a different direction. So who cares what we are going to do, because we certainly haven't cared about how the federal government doesn't allow any of this stuff, and we do it anyway.
I got to fly. I'm out of time. You know, love having you on, Senator. Appreciate you doing it for me. Thank you.
Great. You know, I'm looking forward to fall. I really am. It's fewer bugs. I've been fighting stupid brown wasps going into my cabin. It's amazing.
We'll talk next week, my friend.